but you know, it's all withered technology, and we're live with another episode of BS Busters. This is a special. This is a special episode. We're talking about that PS5 reveal. Yeah.
And all the flash and hype that it.
Yeah. Yeah. Flash hype.
I said flash and hype because if anything, this is the reason why I say at the end of each video, because this looks like a hype train that's about to crash.
I wouldn't even say it was a hype train. I consider it to be just a meh train. Let's get into it. Let's have everyone introduce themselves with the lady first, and then the gentleman, and then myself, and then we'll dive into
it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all Buster special podcast of the PS5. I'm Joy Eli Moonstar, and Clank has up their arsenal in the PS5 this round, I think. But boy, 34 is about to get some new content.
All right, Kenoshi.
Kenoshi Abominito. Here to say that I think the PlayStation 5 is going to sell a lot within the first year because it's PlayStation and, coming off of PlayStation 4. I don't think it's going to. I think it was going to be a slow. If the hype train's going to crash, it's going to be a slow crash. It's going to crash in slow motion.
Indeed.
Yeah, I personally don't think. I don't personally think that it really. I don't think the PS5 is going to sell that well.
Why do you think that is? Well, again, I guess I could take a stab and say that Nintendo and Microsoft are, they're a lot more on their game than they were during the PS4 days where Microsoft shot themselves in the foot. Nintendo is maybe
it's
a
going
bit
at
too
its own
arrogant when
pace.
it came to the Wii.
I would say that Microsoft shot themselves in the dick and Nintendo shot themselves in the foot. I would say the reason I'm going to say I don't think the PS5 is going to sell as well as people think is just because they're already kind of up shit's creek. Because let's get to the thing. There's two SKUs for this thing. All right.
There's SKU that has physical contact and the SKU that's digital only.
There's a SKU that has physical content and a SKU that has, that's diskless. It's just a hard drive. So let me get this straight, okay? Now in history there has never been a console that has sold well that's had multiple different SKUs.
Not at launch.
No, period. I mean, you could say, well, the Xbox. I mean, let's look at it, okay? The Sega Genesis, it had multiple SKUs later on in its life cycle, but that was when it was basically like done in the water. But a modern console. Let's see. The PlayStation didn't have multiple SKUs. The original, the N64 didn't have multiple SKUs. The Saturn didn't have multiple SKUs. The PS2 didn't have multiple SKUs. The GameCube didn't have multiple SKUs. The Xbox, the original Xbox didn't have multiple SKUs. The Wii didn't have.
What's your definition of SKUs? Because the PS2 did have the.
No, I don't mean hardware revisions. I mean where literally there's different versions. Like there's different versions of the console with different capabilities that aren't in the box, where it's like a drastically different thing. Like the PS2, like that's what I mean by SKU, where the hardware is fundamentally different. Like it's kind of interesting I mean, the only like most of the consoles that I can think of that had multiple SKUs at launch failed miserably, like the 3DO. The 3DO had like 4 or 5 different SKUs made by different manufacturers, and all of them they weren't even cross compatible with each other.
So do you think that the reason the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X exist is because they might not have been selling as well as you know, the media and other various analytics were letting on?
Um, I mean, I think we can. I think we can all just keep it 100% real that I think the reason those consoles were made was because basically the base models had basically reached a plateau. In case of Microsoft, I think that there was just certain games that were struggling to run on the base Xbox One. Because remember, like the eighth gen consoles for Microsoft and Sony aren't consoles. They're gaming PCs.
Yeah.
They're gaming PCs that you can't upgrade. They're gaming PCs that you can't if my PC once my PC reaches a certain level of, let's say the next 5 years, okay, and I can't run games at a high setting, I can well, at that point I'll probably just get a new PC. But, conceivably I could put a new graphics card in there and I'd be able to play those games. Maybe not at the highest setting, but at a better setting, right? You can't do that with a console. You're just, if your console is struggling to run games, which, to be fair, there are games that the PS4 and the Xbox One were struggling to run the base models, and their games, even on the PS4 Pro, can't run very well.
Not to mention there, aspects of the PC hardware scene where there's real competitions, stirring up between Intel and AMD, and not to mention the new NVIDIA cards just came out. So PC gaming was pretty far ahead, but they wanted to be able to keep up somehow.
All I'm saying is this: it is a waste of time, and it's not helpful. It's not really doing anything that's making gaming better. Like these different SKUs. Look, the only reason that SKU exists for Sony is because they're afraid that Microsoft's going to come out with their shit and be like, oh, the Xbox One, the Sexbox and the Sexbox Lite are going to be like $499 and $399. Or if Microsoft really wants to kick Sony in the ass, $299 and $399. And that's it. That's it. Like, no one, because here's the thing, okay? Microsoft can afford to take that hit because they don't give a fuck about the Xbox Series X itself. They want people to buy their service. They want people to get Game Pass. They want people to get xCloud. They don't give a shit about what box you're playing the shit on. They just want you to get the service.
The Xbox Series X is a
They just want a foot in the door.
Yeah, it's a back door. It's a back door for a service in your house. Sony.
It's also a gateway drug for PC gaming and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what they want. Okay, that's what Microsoft wants. They don't give a fuck about. Well, actually, they don't even give a fuck about PC gaming. They want you to get their service. They basically they want to be like Steam, but they want to monetize it because Steam is free.
Yeah.
Okay, like Steam has kind of like if you don't use your Steam account for like 6 months and you don't buy a game on it, you can't use the features. But here's the thing. It's really easy to go and buy a cheap ass game on Steam within 6 months to a year. So that's not really an issue. Microsoft wants to charge you $5, $10, $15 a month for these services. And if you double up on it, you're spending, they're like, hey, we'll bundle Game Pass and xCloud for $20 a month, and you'll have basically a Netflix of gaming. People will totally do that shit. And that's what Microsoft is going for. And so that's why Microsoft is better positioned for this generation than Sony. Because Sony got lazy. This is what happens to Sony all the time. They have a successful console, they get lazy, and then they're like, well, we can do whatever the fuck we want. So, yeah, they got lazy yet again.
Yeah.
Why we're not surprised.
Let's talk about the design of the PS5. What did you guys think of the overall, like, the way the console looked?
Oh god, I could meme this thing. I could seriously meme this.
What do I feel about it? Who wants to go first? I mean, do I have to go first? Could someone else go?
I'm saying that I said it so hard because the the PS5 is looking like it's and yet it its design is so memeable that Seto Kaiba, somebody from Bleach, and even JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Oh god, that's gonna be a mess.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. I think it's ugly.
Oh, yeah, I think it's ugly too.
I think it's ugly as shit.
It's trying way too hard to be futuristic.
Yeah. I don't like the color. I don't
mind
like
the color. Yeah, I don't mind the color. I just don't like the way it's shaped. I don't. The disc drive is in a weird position, and you know, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's Sony's worst designed console.
No, I don't like the color. I think it's ugly. To be fair, PlayStation never had the best looking consoles anyway. I mean, let's.
I thought the two best were the original PlayStation and the PS2, but
Not really. I mean, those weren't like great looking consoles. Like, here's the thing, okay? Like, I'm old school. So to me, when I think of a console, I'm thinking of like the NES, the SNES, N64. Like, if you like, here's the thing: if someone walked in your house and looked at those, they say, "Oh, those are video game consoles." The PS1 and the PS2 look like fucking CD players and DVD players, because that's what they fucking were. Okay. Like, I didn't think, oh, that's a video. Like, the first time I saw a PS2, I was like, oh, that's a DVD player. I didn't think, oh, that's a console. It's a DVD player. As a matter of fact, I used my PS2 as more of a DVD player when I first got it than as a gaming device. So,
Which is saying something when you think about it.
So, I mean, like, when I think of a console has a certain look. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna sit down and play some video games. I didn't see, like, when I look at a PlayStation, I don't think I'm gonna sit down and play some video game. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch some DVDs. Which I guess is the whole point when you consider that the vast majority of people who own PS3s and PS4s were streaming shit rather than playing video games, because that's what they're associated with. Which is why it's so fucking mind-blowing that they have a console that they're releasing a SKU that doesn't have a Blu-ray drive. That's just weird.
yeah. Yeah.
Nope, and yet they're showing off that.
So it's just
Yeah,
kind of...
the whole thing is weird.
It's just weird. It's weird. It's ugly. Yeah, I said it. It's weird, it's ugly, and I'm not impressed. Yeah, I said it. I'm not impressed. Okay?
Oh boy. As I said, I see the design and I'm not impressed by because of it. But otherwise, I'm just waiting to see, well, because, well, it's not the outside that for games, it's the inside that counts.
Yeah, and we can get to those games right now. Let me go to the So here are the big
Fire away,
announcements.
okay. I was gonna say,
Yeah, the big announcements. Okay, that controller looks like shit. The big announcements. The first one we have here is Resident Evil Village. Uh,
I guess it's a continuation of Resident Evil 7, which I never played.
yeah, apparently, if you do the little DLC expansion for it at the end, not Chris Redfield comes in. Like, this dude doesn't look anything like Chris Redfield. Pops up, and they're like, "Yeah, well, we're gonna keep it up with that guy." I'm like, "That's not Chris Redfield." Chris Redfield looks like his dick has shrunken up to the size of a peanut because he's taken so many steroids. That's how Redfield looks. This guy does not look like Chris Redfield. He looks like just some guy. They're like, "Oh, that's Chris Redfield." No. Did you guys get the same studio that Square Enix got for that Avengers game with the not Avengers? Hey, these are the Avengers stunt doubles.
I think Resident Evil 7 just seemed like a reboot of the franchise.
Yeah, it was a soft reboot of the franchise, but the thing is, like, it's a subjective thing. It depends on what you like. Like me, my favorite Resident Evil is RE2 and RE4. I don't like RE1. I don't like RE3. I don't like RE Code Veronica. Like that, so everyone's gonna have their preferences. I don't like RE5, that racist ass game.
oh boy, the less to say, the better.
Yes, I'm saying it's racist. Okay, it is racist to have a African female character, a North African female character wearing traditional garb with a bone in her nose. Like, you go to Africa, people don't even dress like that anymore. In most of Africa, in the urban areas of Africa, you're not gonna see a tribesman with a bone in their fucking nose. Racists, and they put that shit in there. And that was racist as hell.
Memorable. The sky was so cold.
But yeah, so I'm not exactly all a quiver about RE8. I know some people really give a shit about that. I do not. What did you think about RE8 reveal?
I never really cared about the Resident Evil franchise. I just don't like the idea of tank controls. Although it's kind of funny because I did enjoy, what I played of Dead Space, the Dead Space games. But I remember my first experience with the Resident Evil was not really fun. One, because it felt like the controls were broken.
Which Resident Evil did you play?
I think it was Resident Evil 3.
Okay, that's your problem. Like, because here's the thing: Resident Evil was essentially a. You're right. The tank controls really brought that game down. You had to have been of that generation, and you have to let that shit go. Now, me personally, it's hard for me to get into it. It's hard for me to be like, yeah, this is okay. I personally don't like. I personally don't like the tank controls, but you kind of just got used to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'll keep it real. And here's the thing: at the time, that's the best we had for those types of controls. Now, for them to be for a game to still be using tank controls now, okay, it's fucked up. But they've changed. They've remade all those games apparently, so for reasons.
Yeah.
So, anything else you guys want to talk about RE8 until we move on to the next game?
Well,
Nah.
I'm just saying, 8's gonna be a interesting ride to watch go to fail, but that's probably just me.
All right. Okay then, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. GTA 5.
Whatever.
They're
I
releasing.
mean,
They're
this game's probably on a toaster. It's probably running on a toaster somewhere.
they're releasing it yet again, but this time it's being expanded and enhanced, which basically just means it's probably going to be a higher setting version of the same damn game. I don't think there's going to be any new content added to the single player, and it's going to be the GTA Online will be free for all PlayStation 5 users for the first 5 months of the game. So, I mean, the first 3 months of the game of GTA 5.
Whoopee.
Only, yeah. If you really want online, I mean, you're still gonna have to spend loads of money in order to get shit in that game, or grind your ass off because the economy is so fucking inflated in that game. But hey, you know,
Inflated? I was about to say, an MMORPG would laugh at GTA Online is.
I mean,
And I'm talking about World of Warcraft.
to be fair, like, here's the thing. I am a fan. I like GTA 5. I don't think it's the best game ever. I just like overall the game. But, I mean, I'll be the first person to tell you, you know, I'm not getting a PS5 to play that game. Especially when, if any single player features are added, they'll just bring that to PC anyway at some point, so. Plus, I already own that game, so why get it again? You know, why get something again? That doesn't make any sense. Unless you're an idiot. But there's some stupid people in this world.
So port.
Yeah, it's another port. So let's keep it moving. Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
So they gave Miles his own game.
No, they didn't. It's an expansion. It's an expansion to the PS4 game. They're bringing the PS4 game over, with the expansion being Miles Morales. So it's a port with an expansion added to it. An expansion that could have been added to the base game any fucking way. Seems like Sony learned a few lessons from Nintendo. Mario Kart 8!
Yeah.
Need expansion? Oh boy, it's gonna be a mess.
Oh, look. Oh, some shit that should have been in the base game on the last gen system. Oh, okay. I hope it's successful for him. Actually, I don't give a fuck. I don't like either of those games. I don't like Miles Morales, and I don't really give a fuck about Insomniac's take on a Spider-Man game.
Did you play that game?
I played it. I played it. Everyone's like, "It's great! It's great!" It's fucking Spider-Man 2 with better graphics. Like, if you played Spider-Man 2 on the GameCube or the PS2 or the I never played the Xbox One version, but on the PS2 or the GameCube, if you played that game, this has better graphics and a slightly better combat system. It's basically they didn't add anything really new to the formula.
Oh, yeah. So I guess one reason people were super excited about it is because we hadn't gotten a halfway decent Spider-Man game in such a long time.
We got a lot of good Spider-Man games. We got like 3 really good Spider-Man games from not Infinity Ward. They're now one of the Call of Duty studios for Activision. But they used to make all the really good Spider-Man games. They did Spider-Man 2, which is good, Spider-Man 3, which is good, Ultimate Spider-Man, which is also good. I mean, they made like 3 really good Spider-Man games during the 6th gen.
I'm just talking about 7th and 8th gen.
Well, I mean, hell, we got no, 7th gen we got Ultimate Spider-Man. That was a 7th gen game too. That's pretty good.
Well, I guess mainly because it was exclusive to Sony.
Yeah, I mean that's the only reason people gave a shit, because it was exclusive to Sony. But to be honest with you, we got good Spider-Man games on, and they were multi-plats. You could play them on a lot of shit. So, yeah. Let's keep it moving. So the next game is the next port. So we got 2 ports of games that came out last gen with a little bit of extra content that should have came on the last shit anyway. Gran Turismo 7.
Why am I not surprised?
Well, I mean that's a staple. I think I think Gran Turismo is the highest selling. Well, was the highest selling franchise Sony ever had on their PlayStation systems. So, you know, it's a staple. You know, it'd be like having a Nintendo home console with no Mario Kart.
Yeah. I never really cared about racing sims. I always appreciated how good they looked, but that's just about it. I never would actually go out and pick one of these up.
Well, to be honest, I personally prefer. I prefer. I prefer arcade racing games. If you're gonna give me a sim, I don't want a racing sim. Like you're on a circuit. I prefer like a Top Gear sim where you're like running. You're running a race from point A to point B, and you have to like change your tires and your specs on your vehicle depending on inclement weather and rain and terrain, shit like that. So you know, like games like Gran Turismo don't really do anything for me, but you know, to each his own.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart.
Another bad pun of a line for a title.
I mean, it's another Ratchet and Clank game, you know? I mean, we should have been getting Ratchet and Clank games for years, but fuck it, you know? Why not?
Yeah, it's good to see that they're still supporting this character. I mean, it's one of the few characters, whimsical characters that they've supported all these years. Compared to, you know, like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, which I know they never own those characters. It's just they just seem to move on very quickly when it comes to that stuff.
They're heavily associated with the character. Well, I mean, there's other characters they didn't do shit with, like Sir Dan Fortescue from Medieval.
Yeah. Jack and Daxter.
They owned.
They made 3 games and they moved on.
They owned Sir Dan Fortescue and they didn't do shit with him. So, you know, that should be Sony's thing. Oh, we ain't doing shit with these characters. Don't even ask.
Yeah. Now we just want to make our interactive movies.
Basically, you know, if you want interactive movies, Sony's your guy. If you don't want interactive movies, well, tough. That's what you're getting. Interactive movies and streaming.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Bad thing to see.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I mean, it's a Ratchet and Clank game. I have not seen. I didn't watch the thing, so I don't know what's going on. You know, have they evolved the franchise?
Time jumping. Yeah, it's basically time jumping through various different dimensions and whatever.
So they haven't evolved the formula. Like they like. Here's the thing. Like Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal is the best game in the series, in my opinion, because it's the one that basically was the most ambitious. Like if you wanted to go from planet A to planet B, you had to get in your aircraft and fly there. And you could basically fly. It was almost like Haven Call of the King, where you could fly and you had to go against interplanetary defenses and other starfighters to get from point A to point B. You could upgrade the shit out of your ship.
The game.
And they did this on the 32-bit system, the PlayStation 2. So yeah, I mean, you know, with the technology we have now, I think it could be really cool, the type of shit you could do. Imagine a Ratchet and Clank that was like No Man's Sky or that Atlas game from Ubisoft, where like you could literally you land on a planet, you explore, doing side quests and shit. You got to get in your ship and fly out of there, and like it was like real time if you wanted to. That'd be cool, but we ain't getting that. We're getting this lazy ass shit. So whatever. That's just me. Project Athia.
You mean that demonstration PlayStation 5?
I mean, it seems to me like it's gonna be another Order 1886. Oh, look how pretty this is. Oh, the game's only 5 minutes long, but look how gorgeous it is. Look at those graphics.
Yeah.
Look at those gorgeous graphics. But I mean, yeah, the graphics are nice, but what about gameplay? Don't ask about that. Look at those graphics. But that's my own personal opinion. I could be wrong. Next, Stray. It's a game where you play as a cat in a world that's been taken over by robots.
I guess.
A cat?
You're into cats and
playing
robots. It's a game for you.
That's odd. Yeah, I'm curious.
Oh wait! It's a multi-plat. It's gonna be on the PS4. So.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. I don't give a shit. Returnal. It's from the same company that made Resogun. God, I just popped my knee.
That must sting.
No, actually, it feels pretty good. It's a third-person shooter with sci-fi weapons and mysterious alien enemies. And the cool thing is that basically, like every time your character dies, they change slightly. And it's a PS5 game. It's a PS5 exclusive. It's not a PS4, PS5 cross-gen game. So there's that.
That game isn't coming out until 2022.
Yeah. Media Molecule is making another Little Big Planet game, but it's a spin-off. It's where it's going to actually just be a platformer. Yeah.
Sackboy, A Big Adventure.
If they're using that same fucking engine from all those other Little Big Planet games, it's going to be the shittiest platformer ever. Little Big Planet has really shitty physics.
I was about to say, if you thought it was bad, look at how bad the user-generated content buses that.
Oh, some of the user-generated content's fun, but the base physics engine, underlying physics engine is trash, which is why as a platformer I just could never really get that into it. I was like, I don't really, not really. I'm not feeling it. To quote Shulk.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it. Next we have Ghostwire Tokyo. This is that game that lady was working on before she had to leave. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Why does she have to leave?
You know, Akumi, what's her name?
I think so.
Akumi, what's her name? I forgot her last name. The lady that like everyone was so entranced with in E3 2019 because she seemed like she was genuinely enjoying life. like E3 hadn't sucked away her soul and replaced it with packing peanuts.
I kind of felt bad for her because she had a thick accent.
And she had enthusiasm, which is just, you can't have that. But it's also coming to PC, so it's not an exclusive. Yeah. Okay, so so Hitman 3 from IO Interactive. Um, anyone looking forward to this? Anyone gonna get a PS5 in order to play Hitman 3?
Oh, it's probably coming to PC and Xbox and everything under the sun. So, there are other options.
All right. That's it. No one else have anything else they want to add to Hitman 3?
I'm not interested in this one.
All right.
So
Demon Souls is being remade for the PS5.
So, who remembers this
Oof.
game? Because I actually own this game for a little bit.
I remember
I was
it,
like, nah,
and I
this
remember
one's
not
good.
liking it because of the
Yeah,
tank
it's-
controls. Like, people are like, this is a hard game. It's not hard. The controls are shit, and you have enemies that ambush you. Like, it's like there's a pile of rubbish, and you go into you're on a corridor, and there's these little side corridors. And the first time you play it, you're like, huh, this is just kind of an eerie place. But then enemies jump out of the rubbish and attack you. It's like really bad game design.
Yeah. Plus the weight system.
Yeah.
Kind of dumb. I don't know. I just can't get into these games.
But they're remaking it. It's prettier graphics, but they aren't going to fix that shitty gameplay.
No. It's gonna be the same, getting ambushed by various different monsters hiding behind them.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man, there's a pallet. It's a corridor, and there are these little offshoots in the corridor with barrels in front of them. I bet no enemies are going to pop out of those barrels and attack me while I'm walking down this corridor. Oh, I lied. It's not a very well made game. I don't know why people. Oh, this game's awesome. Really, if you think shit like that's awesome, you have a very low barrier for what's good and what's not good. I could probably take some cow dung that was in a litter box and put it in a box, and you'd be like, oh man, this is great. Maybe not. I don't know. Arcane Studios, the creator of Dishonored, is making a game where you hunt people through magic powers. We didn't see any gameplay, just some shit on it.
Was it Deathfloor?
Deathloop.
Deathloop?
Yeah,
Deathloop?
Deathloop. Yeah, Deathloop. Unfortunately, it's published by Bethesda, so I wasn't getting it anyway.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
why
like the
it's
two
broken
Dishonored
out of the
games.
box.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not made by Bethesda proper, but it's published by them, and I don't want to give them any money, so fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. We have Horizon Zero Dawn's follow-up is Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, it looks like I saw the trailer for that. It looks like they're trying to make their Breath of the Wild.
Well, they tried it with the first game and it didn't work, so all I'm gonna say is this: they better make this game come out this year so it gets here before Breath of the Wild 2. Because if Breath of the Wild 2 comes out and it's way better than this game, it's gonna be another shitty day for Horizon Zero Dawn. That's all I'm gonna say. Well, because the first game didn't sell all that well. That's why it came to PC, because it just did not sell all that well.
I was about to say, don't you mean? I think this is going to be another Killzone. Like got stomped when Halo was about.
Well, that was because Sony marketed it to be a competitor to Halo. And during the Halo 2 and 3 era, you weren't going to put a first-person shooter up against Halo. But Sony always does that. They're like, this is going to be the Legend of Zelda killer. Man, why the fuck would you put that type of pressure on a game?
You're just asking for go far and go right to your orbs.
So there you go, folks.
Yeah, that wasn't all the games. There were other games that were shown, but whatever.
It's just a lot of bullshit to me. But that's my own personal opinion. I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm not
I've
impressed.
seen this trailer. Called Goodbye Volcano High. It's very unsettling. I'm gonna post it in the chat. It was at their show. It's very weird.
Is this an exclusive or?
I don't know.
That thing you've always meant to do. The fear that nothing else to lose.
So it's got furries.
You ever feel like you're just waiting
It's
for
a
something?
furry face. Look, we've all played games.
So it's on the PS4 and the PS5.
I guess so.
Sometimes I feel like I'm just standing on the edge of doing great things.
All right.
But something...
I mean, it's a whole bunch of furries and mythical creatures, anthropomorphized mythical creatures. I mean, yeah, like it doesn't show any gameplay. It looks more like an animated movie, like a tween young adult animated cartoon.
When I first heard the title of the game, I thought it was based off of that Chinese movie, Volcano High, but apparently it has nothing to do with that. So, I don't know. Something about it's just really off-putting.
I don't know. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what I saw. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a comment that just described it. It said disgusting character design. Yeah, it's the character design. It's really unsettling.
It looks a little
Doesn't look
weird.
right.
It looks a little weird. I mean, if you're like, okay, if you're part of that scene that's into like furries, they might be into this because the characters do look almost like, this might be made by furries.
Like, I mean, I don't mind weird looking games because I mean I like the Psychonauts, but that's a weird looking game. But it had charm to it. This
not.
This game doesn't look like it has charm.
No, it doesn't. Well, I mean, I didn't see any gameplay in that. I didn't see any gameplay in that trailer. It was just like
Things holding me back.
just people talking weird. Some girl with way too much fucking forehead. I mean, I know she's a dragon, but I don't think even a dragon should have that much fucking forehead.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, that's unsettling.
And it doesn't come out till 2021, and it's going to be on PS4 and PS5. So once again, we have games coming out for this system that, I mean, a lot of multi-plats, a lot of cross-gen games. So why should I care?
If anything, it's probably just a good interactive movie of sorts. Hey.
Oh well. So I mean, what are your guys' overall thoughts? I mean, like, okay, did this PS5 reveal actually, like, are you interested in getting a PS5? Do you give a fuck? Are you?
I just hope when the PS5 comes out, the PS4. I hope the PS4 is super cheap.
It's not going to get
so
cheap.
I can go back.
It's
so
not.
I can go back and play those games that
It's not going to be
that
cheap.
aren't gonna come to PC.
It's not going to be cheap because I was planning, because I have a PS4, but I got like the base model PS4 and I want to get a PS4 Pro because like there's like 2 games that like the best way you can play that game is on the Pro. So I'm like, yeah, I think I'll get that. And the PS4 Pro is like $450 right now.
Yeah. If you're gonna spend the extra money on a PS4 Pro, you might as well get a bundle.
Yeah, they have bundles, but the bundles aren't cheap either. The bundles are like $500, almost $600.
I know the bundles aren't cheap, but I guess it's worth a little bit less. At least
but
it comes with a game.
But the thing is, the games that are in the bundles are games I don't want. They're like, yeah, we got Call of Duty. I don't fucking want Call of Duty.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until Black Friday and see what happens. While the PS5s are gonna be sold out and people are gonna complain if they're sold out, I'm just gonna get a PS4 Pro and call it a day.
I don't think the PS5s are gonna sell as well as people think. I really don't. I know I don't have any evidence. I think here's what I think. I think this year, what's gonna sell really well is I think that the Xbox, the Sexbox is going to sell well because, it's backwards compatible. If I remember correctly, it's fully backwards compatible with the Xbox with the Xbox One games. And also, like, you can basically get your Xbox, your Sexbox, and like when you decide to upgrade, you can play all those games. Plus, it has Xbox Game Pass, so you have access to. You don't have to buy a game. You can spend your $5 or $10, $15 and have access to like hundreds of games day one. So the better deal is a Sexbox. Which, ironically, the only thing it can't do, despite its name of the Series X Xbox, is you can't stick your dick in and have sex. or it has some type of phallus-shaped probe that women can get their jollies on. Just
enough said.
The sex box, the only thing it can't do is have sex. But aside from that, you're pretty much. I mean, unlike the PS5 sounds like it's just not a good deal. You can't watch your physical media on. It has a SKU where you don't have physical media. Yeah, you can stream, but I mean, for people who are really into physical media, that's kind of like I'm not really interested in that shit.
I'm not touching that.
Yeah, I'm an audiophile. I'm a vinylophile. I'm also I have tons of HD DVDs with special editions and shit like that. So that's kind of like I'm not feeling that shit. So but that's just me. To each his own. So with that being said, so let's do the count off. Kenoshi, they didn't sell it to you.
No.
I
just don't care about first year consoles anymore. I even think if Nintendo, we're going to announce their next console within the next few years.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what? I'm going to wait a year and a half before I pick this up.
Unless the games that they announced that are coming out the first year, the launch games, if they aren't compelling, and I mean really fucking compelling, I probably wouldn't. And here's the thing: this is the first time that would be the first time I've never gotten a Nintendo console day one. Because every other time, when a Nintendo console, the first year a Nintendo console came out, I got that shit. Joel, yay or nay?
I'm still here, and I'm not impressed by the PS4, sadly. I mean, PS5.
It didn't do anything for you?
I say. If anything, I'm watching the memes.
You weren't a quiver with the toaster? Because it looks kind of like a toaster. It looks like a futuristic toaster. It looks like a toaster that will not only toast your bread, it will also butter it.
Well, it also looks like it, it's going to get pretty hot because it's a pretty thin console and the sort of graphics it wants to push out. Yeah, that thing's gonna get nice and toasty.
Yeah, I
Gonna
think
keep
this
you
is
warm during the long winter months.
I think this is going to be Sony's Xbox 360 Red Ring of Death. If they can't get that shit cool, it's going to be Red Ring of Death. Yeah, I mean, listen, I never buy Sony consoles year one. I'm literally not getting a PS4 Pro. I didn't get a PS4 until this year, and I'm probably not going to get a PS4 Pro until this year. And this is like, this year they're also launching their PS5. So literally, I wait years to get a Sony console. So in this case, yeah, I can't really say I'm surprised. By,
well, apparently this thing isn't necessarily as backwards compatible as people thought.
No, certain games are backwards compatible, but not all of them. So that's another reason why I'm not getting it. Because
I was going to consider the PS5. I was like, well, I might end up getting this if this is fully backwards compatible. But since it's not, it's like I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to waste.
Yeah, like some of these games are backwards compatible. Like to be honest with you, I would rather have no Blu-ray compatibility and have full backwards compatibility versus Blu-ray. Because backwards compatibility, I can play all my old shit. Yeah. And I can, because I mean, I get tired of having shit hooked up to my TV. I would rather have 2 or 3 consoles hooked up to my TV than, having to switch out different ones. One reason why I love the Virtual Console for the Wii and the Wii U, because I didn't have to hook up different consoles to play old games. I could just be like, oh, well, I can play N64 games. I can play SNES games. I can play NES games. And not all the ones that I have physically, but the best hits. I can play my Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. I can play my Super Mario World. I can play my Paper Mario. I can play, all that shit. I like stuff like that. But, to each his own. So for me, no, it didn't, I'm not impressed. I know some people are going to get angry. They're going to be like, how dare you, you bastard. I'm not impressed. Not impressed. I'm not getting the PS5. Don't want a PS5. If someone gave it to me as a gift for free, I'd take it. but I wouldn't go out of my way to get that shit with my own money. So yeah, there we go. That's the end of this video. We will have another podcast coming up tomorrow, where we will be talking about the PC gaming show, which I guarantee will probably be way more interesting than PlayStation shit. So yeah, and we'll also talk about the latest Paper Mario Origami King news. Believe it or not, look, listen, right now the Paper Mario series is sitting at a 67.72%. And they're putting in a 90% effort with this game. It has almost everything you'd want, except for they're still bringing back those fucking weapons having durability. And you can only use them a certain amount of times before they're gone. Because they didn't learn shit from Sticker Star.
I look at it, so if anything, I'm likely gonna be in for.
So we'll definitely be talking about the PC Game Show tomorrow. It's from 12 to whatever. 12 to here. Let me look it up because I don't want to get the.
It's probably from around. It's probably a 6-hour demonstration.
Yeah, I don't want to get the information wrong. Yeah, I don't want to get the. It's from. Sorry, it's from 11 a.m. Pacific time to whatever. So it starts at 2 Eastern Standard Time. So okay, I thought it was going to be 12. Okay, it's 2. So 2 for me. I guess that's 1 for you, Kanoshi.
Yeah, that'd be 1 for me.
1 for you.
I'll try to catch some. I'll be at work, so I'll have to catch some stuff here and there. But
yeah, that's okay, man. We'll just I'll just look at it and look at the best of. So yeah, that's the end of this podcast. Thank you for joining. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. If you would like to get in touch with the channel, I have not updated the placard for how you can get in touch with the channel yet. I will do that in the future. But to get in touch with the channel via Gmail, you can reach me at mrredfoxbsbuster@gmail.com or Twitter at Matthew_Wesley at MrRedFox91. So yeah, that's how you can reach me. With that being said, that's the end of this video. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace, good night, and
And hype response.
that's
I
right,
said, and
folks.
hype response. Okay.